There's a lot of reasons of why people binge eat. And, coming someone from me who has been having this issue for 10 years, as you can see, I would binge eat and I would do a lot of cardio and I would get, back to shred it and I would binge eat. Same process. I would do a lot of cardio, restricted diet, get shredded. This was when I was younger, same process. And the same thing, I would binge eat and I would get shredded. So from my experience, I know a lot of reasons of why it happened. And, I'm going to make a tier list out of it and what I think is the biggest reasons of why people binge eat. And after talking to dozens of people as well, I think I have a good understanding. And also, what are some solutions that we can do in order to improve our lives and also just to live a healthier lifestyle with our binge eating problem that we had in the past, like that. So let's get started. So reasons why you binge eat. The first one that we have is restriction. So this is like restriction on diets. This could be like, for example, you do a strict carnivore diet for like a whole month, or you do vegan, whatever it is, right? I believe that this could be going into a B tier just because I believe that, you can easily change this aspect. So if you're very too restrictive on your diet and you don't allow yourself to eat, candy, ice cream, chips, like at least once a week, then I believe that you'll always fail and you'll always binge it because subconsciously you'll be always craving this kind of food. And if your body is not getting it, you'll just crave it more and more of it. So I believe it's a B just because you can easily change it, implement it once a week, have a day or have, a meal that you can enjoy, relax, and just be comfortable in like that. Next is negative emotions. So with negative emotions, this comes with, shame, fear, grief, guilt, depression, despair, envy, doubt, jealous, frustration, sadness, and, there's more, of course. I believe that negative emotions is usually in, as a man, right? I would say it's also as a B tier. For girls, it could be probably as an A tier or an S tier. But just as guys, like if we're negative, bro, like you just go to the fucking gym, right? You just work out, you eat healthy, you take a walk, you meditate, you talk to your boy, you feel better. And mostly negative emotions come from like the life quality that you have, and if you don't have anybody to talk to, then everything is just boiled under, your skin. And after a while, it'll just grow out and explode. So that's why I believe you can easily fix this. Ultra processed foods, right? I believe this is like an A tier, just because of the chemicals that they put inside and the addictive elements that they have. And also just look at the fucking packaging, man. Like, look how much colors this is, right? For example, if every food company removed all of these colors and make it less appealing and just put the chemicals, right, that is listed, no one would buy it. But the way they're marketing and the way they provide it in the stores where you just walk in, you already see this, piece of shit, then like you're just essentially fucked. And once you eat one of, the chips in the bag or ice cream or cookies, your body wants to crave more and more because the scientists spend millions and millions of dollars crafting the perfect ingredients to make you crave more of it. And it's fucked up. So that's why I think it's an A. This is like one of my biggest issues that I had is stopping myself once I ate ultra processed food that had like a lot of chemicals in it. Next is relaxation, right? I think this is like a D tier. I would usually binge when I was bored, right? Or when I was relaxing. And essentially, a way to fix this is just have a purpose in life, whether that's a business, whether that's a career, whether that's school. Have something that you're dedicated to, or like a sport, like swimming, basketball, soccer, you know, maybe jujitsu, right? Anything that you like to do, just focus on that and become a master at it. And relaxation is, of course, something that you should do as well, but not to an extreme like that. So that's why I put it as a D tier because you can easily fix this. Next is smoking weed. So I put this as D tier as well, just because at the end of the day, you're allowing yourself to smoke weed. And from my past experience, I as well did it. And of course, you know what munchies are. When you get extremely hungry, you eat everything in your fridge. But at the end of the day, before you start smoking, you voluntarily said yes that you're gonna smoke. So there's no surprise that you'll get hungry after that, and you know that munchies will come. So this is technically your fucking fault that if you do it. Next is loneliness. I would put this as an A tier as well, just because a lot of men deal with loneliness because we have nobody to talk to about this, binging problems or any food addictions. Just because people would just tell us, "Oh, just get over it. You're a man. Don't worry about it." But deep down, like this is very painful and shameful for us to deal with, and we don't really open up to anyone because no one really understands. Unless you talk to someone who actually had this problem in the past, like me, then we could easily relate to one another and help each other out. That's the only way. But other than that, I believe loneliness is the root cause because, you know, if you're lonely, you have no friends or then negative emotions come in, right? So this is a root cause of emotions. You become sad, depressed, anxious, whatever, and this leads you to binge. Next is no purpose, right? So no purpose I would put as a C tier just because I believe that if you don't have a purpose, that means like what are you doing in life? It depends on your age as well. If you're in high school or in college, then that's fine if you don't have a purpose. But once you graduate college, you have to figure out what you want to fucking do in life. You don't have to follow society standards, but like what do you truly want to do in your life? Or what do you want to experiment with? Like do something that gives you meaning, that gives you purpose, something that, you know, you might want to do for your whole life, like that. So I believe a purpose, right? Everyone should have one. If you don't have one, you should be looking forward it. But it's like a little root cause of you binge eating because if you do have a purpose, then you would spend more time on it and less time thinking about food. That's the only reason. Next is trauma. I believe trauma is S tier. I believe one of my biggest issues of binge eating is because of trauma that I had when I was a child. So some examples that I had was my dad was an alcoholic. He would beat me up. He would beat my mother up. I was bullied very much in middle school and elementary school. In high school, I didn't have any friends. I have like very more specific memories, but because of me exploring my past and thinking about, what has happened, I allowed myself to accept it. So it happened in the past, it's not in the present. I acknowledged it, I talked to myself or I journaled about, what had happened in the past and how it does not reflect me what I am today. And this really helped me because you fully try to understand why you're binging because there's always like a very deep, 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 deep cause. It's like an onion. Like you peel one layer and you keep peeling, peeling, peeling until you find the root cause of why you're binging. And it's mostly because of trauma. It could be abuse, it could be something painful, it could be something emotional, anything like that. So I think this is like the most important aspect of why people binge and why I binged as well. Next is alcohol. Alcohol, same thing as D tier. You're allowing yourself to drink, and if you're getting hungry after you drink, well, you know why, and you voluntarily accepted that you want to drink alcohol because you wanted to relax or anything like that. Or it could be like a comfort thing where you drink alcohol, you play video games or you watch TV show and you eat food. That could be the same reason like that. But at the same time, it's voluntarily, you could easily fucking change it. So next is stress. Stress, I believe, is also an S tier, just because depending on what kind of stress, for example, if you get chronic stress from like business or work or career or life situation, definitely this is why you binge because you see food as a support layer to you having this pain or having stress, and eating food relaxes you for a short duration. So that's why I believe stress is like one of the most important things, just like trauma. Just because if you didn't have stress, you wouldn't really need to binge because your body wouldn't be craving something as an escape like that. The next thing is boredom. The same thing, I believe boredom is in a C tier just because like if you're fucking bored, bro, like you're supposed to be doing something with your life. If you're playing video games and that gives you excitement, then that's great. Do that. But if you do nothing in life and you're just bored constantly, you just brain rot all day, 8 to 12 hours, watch YouTube videos, TikTok, Instagram reels, anything like that, then you should be able to fix your life. And boredom is the root cause of yourself. It's not, the root cause of anyone else's but you. And you can easily fix this by finding your passion or doing something that you like, or like any hobbies like that. Poor sleep. I believe this is like also like kind of a B tier just because I believe that, while you do have less sleep, you're less aware, your body needs more, it depends on every person, but what I found out is when I have less sleep, I'm more groggy, I'm more tired. I want to relax more because my body needs it. And yeah, because of the poor sleep, I eat more food, and that relates to having more stress, and that relates to ultra processed food like that, and relates to negative emotions. Well, poor sleep you can easily fix. You just have to dedicate yourself and sleep more or go to sleep early. It's very easy like that. So again, you can easily control this. Next one is no one to talk to. So this is similar to loneliness. Is as men, right? We have to be stoic, so we don't really share our feelings or emotions of what we do every day. If you're a girl, it might be different, right? Because girls share a lot of emotions and they talk to one another, and that's what basically helps them beat binge eating than men. But when you have no one to talk to, I believe it's another root cause of you binging, just because if you did have someone to talk to that understood your pain and what you're going through, you have a better connection, you feel better, and talking to someone will make you binge less because you have somebody who can relate to you like that. Next thing is not working out. So I believe this is I would say it's like a yeah, I would say it's like a B tier, just because if you're not working out as a man, like, what are you doing? It doesn't have to be weightlifting, but it could be some kind of sport. It could be some, activity that, puts physical exertion. If you're a masculine man, then definitely you have to be doing this, because if you don't really work out, you're not moving and your body just in a stagnation. And essentially, if you do binge, you're just gonna gain fat, right? But if you do work out and you're exercising, you're always keeping your body healthy, your lungs are healthy, your blood is moving, you know, fluidly, and also your heart rate is also lower because the more you work out, it's also considered as cardio. If you do like morning walks or you do cardio every single day, you're helping your heart exist and it's helping your body, cool down. So I believe working out, if you're not working out, you have to work out, at least do something. And it's just extremely healthy. There's thousands of research papers that backs this up. So I would put it as a B. Next thing that we have is bad environment. So I believe the bad environment could be around A tier, just because if you live in a place that you don't really like, and like for example, there are depressed people there, or you just don't like the environment you're in, like there's pollution, there's trash everywhere, the people are not nice, there's so much processed food everywhere. So like you go to the deli, there's more processed food than fucking fruits or vegetables, then I completely understand you. There's a bad environment that leads you to binge because it's outside factors that are controlling your life now. But at the same time, you can easily change this. If you're still in high school or college, then I understand you can't. But once you become an adult, you can easily change this. And if you're still in high school or college, then the only way you can actually fix this is just to have a mental clarity of saying, no, fuck you, society. I'm not going to do what they want me to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to binge. I'm going to eat healthy. Fuck the environment. Fuck everyone else. I control my life. I do what I want. So I believe you can easily change this. Next is mukbangs. So this piece of shit and calorie challenge, I'm going to put as the same thing. When I was young, I would be watching this, and it was a big mistake because when I had a binge eating problem, I would easily just watch this and I would eat kind of like the same food as the people in the video, and it would make me feel happy and not stressed and having no shame. But in reality, what it did is it caused me to keep having this binge eating problem, and I justified it by saying, these people did calorie challenges, but then they did a lot of cardio, so they basically removed everything that they ate. No, it's wrong, because I did this for 8 years, and as you can see, right, it was horrible. I had to go back and forth, yo-yo dieting, I guess you can say. So that's why I put it as a rank S just for me, just because these two fucked me up when I was little. And I hope if you're still watching this type of content, you should stop right away and just slap yourself or just ask yourself, what the fuck am I doing watching this, slop, and actually just stop. So this is my tier list of why people binge eat. And yeah, so hopefully this helps you out. And in the link below under this video is a Calendly link to book a free call with me for 1 hour. As men, we have nobody to talk to. So if you really want to fix your binge eating in like 30 days, click the link and book a call with me, and it's completely for free. So other than that, thank you.